Hi fans of high quality entertainment. Last night, I was relaxing in bed listening to music, and I'm always thinking of new video ideas to do, and it hit me last night. I've never done this. And it was going to be top 10, and then there's so many great debut albums. I've chosen 12. But anyway, 12 what I feel are underrated debut albums. I've done, top 10 debut albums more than once probably, but never top 10 or top 12 underrated debut albums. So these are just albums, they might not be, if you're a fan of some of these artists, you might not think the album is underrated. But I feel overall that these debut albums aren't talked about as much as other first albums. And I've ranked them, and there are more in my CD collection and elsewhere, but these are the 12 I've chosen and I've ranked them. So number 12 is the debut album by Humble Pie, As Safe as Yesterday. I always get this confused with their second album, Town and Country. It's like, which album was recorded first? But it was this one, with of course Peter Frampton and Steve Merriwet. And this is a bit heavier than the second album, which is a bit more acoustic. And it is really good. I mean, they're still kind of finding their way. They got better with each album, but this is still a very, very good debut album. And I really I listened to it last night because I hadn't listened to it in quite a while, and it's great. Number 11. Yeah, for many years I think this is one of the last albums of his that I bought. I'm a huge fan of this artist, but I'd always heard that his first album wasn't very good. But when I was ranking and reviewing all of his albums, I changed my mind about it. I think it's a very good album. It is Lou Reed. And Steve Howe plays guitar on this, and somebody named Rick Wakeman plays keyboards. The production is a little off in some strange kind of way, but the songs are there. Some really good songs. And I think my favorites are, some of these are left over from, or re-recordings from the Velvet Underground, like Ocean, but Love Makes You Feel. I love that song, and Berlin is the first version of Berlin. So, yeah, it's a very good album. Is it perfect? No. But it's, for a debut album, I think it's underrated. Number 10. Once again, I prefer the later albums, but his debut is still very good, and once again, underrated to me. The sensational Alex Harvey Band with Framed. And this is a double. I have all of their discography, and each one contains 2 albums. So also contains the next album, which is called Next. But yeah, Framed is very, very good. Number 9 features a lead singer that went on to be in the band Boxer with Adrian Fisher, who was the guitarist for Sparks for Kimono My House and part of Propaganda, and Ollie Halsall, if that's how you pronounce it, plays guitar, and he plays guitar in this on this debut album, but he also played with a band called the Ruddles on the recordings, and the drummer was also the drummer for the Ruddles, and he appeared in the Ruddles movie. So it's either Pado or Pado. Mike Pado is the lead singer. Their debut album Thanks to Glenn Kellaway from the basement and one of our CD exchanges. Some great guitar on this, blues, rock, and I have the box set of their whole discography, and it is excellent. Now number 8, now this is the remix of the debut album, and you know, some people are going to argue it's not his debut, it's his second album. But when the artist himself says it kind of ignores the very first recording that he did, he's embarrassed by it or whatever, and he considers this his debut, then I'm going to go along with the artist this time. And it is David Bowie with the self-titled, or Space Oddity, it was called in the States. Ooh, that's freaky. There we go. Yeah, I think, you know, it took a few listens, but Space Oddity, of course, is the highlight. But some of this is so good. He's still, you know, trying to find himself and everything, but a song like God Knows I'm Good, and supposedly at the end of that recording he burst out in tears. Lots of great songs on this. I love them. I love all of them. So that's number 8. Number 7. I've talked about most of these albums before. But like I said, I feel these are underrated debuts. And this band, I think they've just released their final album. And in fact, the last song, I was listening to it, it was kind of endearing. And it was called So Long, Saying Goodbye. But this is their first album from 1977, kind of a punk pop band, the Vibrators. Yeah, if you like good, catchy punk pop, kind of like the Ramones, a bit, maybe a touch poppier though, the Vibrators are a great band. This debut album I've talked about a lot. And like I said, if you're a big fan of this band, you might say that's not underrated. But I'm just saying overall, people, when they talk about great debut albums, they might not usually bring this up. It is from 1976. I gotta get a new case for this. And this was gifted to me by a viewer, so thank you again. Cheap Trick with their debut album. It's probably their heaviest of their early albums. Much heavier than In Color, which was also a great album. Top 5. This one, so yeah, these top 5 could easily, any of them actually could be number 1. But it's just kind of fun to rank them. I bought this when it came out in 1975. It's always been my favorite album by this band, and I really liked the 2 follow-ups, and then they went a little bit too commercial for my liking, and I lost interest in them. And I love how somebody described this album, the missing link between prog rock and new wave. Because last night when I was listening to the opening track, I was thinking it's kind of a proggy song. It is The Tubes. Of course, White Punks on Dope is on this, and just a great variety. It's a little crazy, but fun, and I've always loved this album. And the follow-ups, Young and Rich and Now. Now this artist, we've had him drop by on a live chat, and once again, it was from the CD exchange with Glenn Kellaway. I became a big, big fan of this artist, and when he had this band, they released 3 albums. They're all completely different. They're all completely amazing. This is the debut by Kingdom Come, Arthur Brown's Kingdom Come, Galactic Zoo Dossier. Amazing album. Highly recommend you getting this box set of the 3 Kingdom Come albums plus a lot of bonus material. Number 3, I also had the lead singer and guitarist on a live chat just a few months back. It is Grand Funk Railroad with On Time. And yeah, so this was from 1969, and you know, for vinyl, usually it'd be what, 15 minutes up to maybe 20 minutes per side. This album, when it was released, 50 minutes and 50 seconds, about 25 minutes per side. I calculated that in my head pretty good, eh? Yeah, so lots of music on this album. So, you know, like I said, if you're a big Grand Funk Railroad fan like me, a lot of you are going to say that's not underrated, but I'm saying for other people that just know this band, you know, from We're an American Band and whatever, they might not think of this as a great debut album when it is. And speaking of great bands with really underrated albums, this definitely is. I love the whole, you know, every song is amazing. It is Steppenwolf. And that's from the box set. Number 1. So this band, their first 2 albums, I read sometimes they're still trying to find their sound and whatever. And I kind of disagree a little bit, because I think even though, you know, the first 2 albums aren't totally prog, they were excellent. And I think they had some great, whatever it was, they had it right from the very beginning for me. And it is the Yes debut with like Beyond and Before. Right away, you know, Chris Squire, his bass is right up front, like it all was throughout his whole career. And they do an amazing version of The Birds I See, really jazzy, and a great version of Every Little Thing, the Beatles song. They make it completely their own. They even have a little bit of Day Tripper in the song. Peter Bank, great guitarist on the first 2 albums. So this is, out of these 12 albums, my absolute favorite underrated album. Debut album. So let me know in the comments section below, what are some of the debut albums that you feel are underrated? And also maybe talk about the ones that I showed you, what you think. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.